Towns and Lay International Hotel robbed. Government urged to immediately address nurses' grievances. Port Moresby and Townsville flights to boost investment.
This is NBC Papua New Guinea National News.
Good evening, I'm Antonia Singut. The Pelgan supermarket at Lay International Hotel had been robbed of substantial amounts of cash by armed criminals yesterday morning. Lay Metropolitan Superintendent Commander Anthony Wagambi Jr. said it seems both robberies were well organised and executed by insiders. The incidents have now created fear amongst other business houses in Lay. Sylvester Gawi with the details from Lay.
The armed robberies sent a shocking wave throughout the city as business houses were on alert after a long weekend of independence celebrations in the city. The earlier incident occurred at around 8 a.m. in the morning, where criminals pretending to be customers walked into the Pelgan supermarket at Eriku, held up the employees and made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Police were notified and pursued the suspects in a car chase to the outskirts of the city, and gunshots were exchanged. The suspects left the vehicle at West Taraka and made off with the money, while the police stopped the pursuit to avoid bullet pellets injuring the public. The suspect's vehicle was brought to the Lay police station, and investigations have begun into tracking down the suspects and the weapons used. Then at 10:30 a.m. in the same morning, 5 armed men walked into the accounts section of the Lay International Hotel, held up the staff at gunpoint and made off with a large sum of money on a waiting vehicle. The incident occurred so fast within a span of 5 minutes, and the criminals made their getaway on a waiting brown 10-seater vehicle. Police were informed and found the vehicle at Voco Point, but the suspects have escaped by sea on a waiting speedboat towards the southern coastline of Lay City. Lay Metropolitan Superintendent Commander Anthony Wagambi Jr. in a statement says police are going through the CCTV footages and are investigating the incidents. Wagambi also reported that the criminals are using both high-powered and factory-made guns to execute their criminal intentions. Both robberies are believed to be inside jobs with well-placed inside source providing necessary information to the criminals. Meanwhile, business houses in the city have also increased security manpower following the incidents, and police are working tirelessly to track the suspects. Sylvester Gawi.
Opposition leader Don Pollier has called on the government to immediately intervene to prevent hundreds of nurses from walking off their jobs. He fears health services may shut down if the government fails to step in to listen to the nurses' grievances. Mr. Pollier said the government, through the health department, must not take this strike action lightly. The opposition leader's comments follows the recent turn of events where more than 700 nurses walked off their jobs. A police station commander in Lay City is calling on the government and relevant authorities in Morobe to curb the growth of illegal settlements and the prevalence of illegal drugs and alcohol in communities. Chinatown Police Commander Sergeant James Luan says illegal settlements have sprouted everywhere in Papua New Guinea's industrial hub. This has made it possible for the production, trade and consumption of illegal alcohol and drugs, and has become a safe haven for criminals to hide and prey on the general public. Sylvester Gawi with this report from Lay.
The Chinatown police station looks after a large number of communities from the central business hub to the fringes of the Malahang Back Road area. For instance, it is the only police station that attends to community policing in some of the most notorious settlements in Lay City, known for the production and trade of marijuana and homebrew alcohol. For Sergeant James Luan and his men at Chinatown, fighting crime in the communities have become quite tougher with the extension of illegal settlements towards the banks of the Bumbu River.
There are many incidents, major incidents that happen. Murder, robbery, major stealing like snatching bags or properties from people around the Kasawari Road, residents.
Bumbu area, you go time by you look in this layer and pull up all money, walk, drink, now. Smoking this layer.
A couple of months back, a police raid in Kamkumu found homebrew processing equipment and hundreds of liters of homebrew alcohol were destroyed. Marijuana bags were also confiscated by police all in an effort to clamp down on illicit drugs, of which its trade and consumption have led to law and order problems in the city.
Loya, mi plaki si bit na bangarap lo dislaya. All magi work lo smoking disla na wagi kain loya.
That's an illegal settlement, and I think it's best that the provincial government has to look at some measures to take, like addressing the illegal settlement. And I know there's eviction already started, but it stopped because of some court orders or something like that.
While the police have been doing their best to contain law and order situations in the city, government support is needed to put more effect into policing duties. It also requires the support from members of the community to assist in providing information to the police and authorities to clamp down on criminal elements. Sylvester Gawi, NBC National News, Leh.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said increased investment and the creation of more jobs will be the outcome of establishing commercial flights between Port Moresby and the North Queensland city of Townsville. After a visit to Townsville this week, where he spoke with a number of elected officials and business people, the Prime Minister said there is a lot to be gained from flights to the city. He is therefore encouraging officials to accelerate negotiations with Australian civil aviation officials. Townsville is the largest urban centre in Northern Australia and has both existing and a number of new potential linkages with Papua New Guinea. Mr O'Neill said tourism from North Queensland will also receive a boost when flights are established. The Prime Minister said the flights would initially transit through Cairns and connect to Port Moresby, which is the growing regional hub for air travel. Conservation officers in the Lumi area of West Sepik Province will be undergoing a 3-day training to upskill themselves on how to be better conservationists. The training is part of an arrangement between the Nature Park and the Tenkile Conservation Alliance. Esther Bralinwani reports.
The 3 officers with the Tenkile Conservation Alliance have come all the way from Lumi area of West Sepik Province to undergo a 3-day training. Nature Park will facilitate the training to help the 3 trainees to know how to work as an animal and environmental caretaker.
This
is part of what they will be doing in the next 3 days when they return to Lumi. Nature Park is conducting this program as part of the conservation team to protect the endangered species.
By something over there, and population growth. So we are coming to the stage where Bagarabim stop now. So we are changing plan now, we are coming to the side conserving. And now we are pretty more now must come plan.
The participants are aware there is a need to preserve the environment and its habitat for the next generation, and they are determined to ensure this is achieved despite receiving no support from especially their Sundown provincial government. Esther Bralinwani, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
The Ministry of Trade, Commerce and Industry has confirmed that 2 experts from the Biosecurity Authority of Fiji will be visiting the country next week to discuss issues surrounding trade between the 2 countries. Sources within the ministry have confirmed that the BAF officials will arrive on the 25th of this month and hold talks with a technical team comprising of officials from Nakia, Department of Agriculture and Livestock, and the Trade Ministry on the 26th and 27th. The refusal by Fiji's biosecurity to allow PNG products into Fiji caused a trade impasse between the 2 countries, with outspoken PNG Trade Minister Richard Maru questioning the ban. In terms of actual trade, our trade relations are in favour of Fiji, as PNG imports more from Fiji than what it exports. According to PNG Today, BAF Executive Chairman Xavier Khan says he hoped to resolve the biosecurity issue surrounding the oxen palm corned beef, trukai rice and other PNG products during these meetings. Meanwhile, the Nature Park in Port Moresby will be hosting the PASIN TUMBUNA Day this Saturday. The National Cultural Commission, Office of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Tourism Promotion Authority with the Nature Park are working together to make this day a memorable one. Esther Bralinwani reports.
The Nature Park General Manager says through this PASIN TUMBUNA Day, they expect to educate children and adults in the city about the different cultures in Papua New Guinea.
Really excited to be hosting a completely unique event. And this event is all about understanding and learning about traditional skills, cultures and the meanings behind things.
The day will coincide with the Look in PNG Now Tourism Week. The National Cultural Commission has announced to support the Nature Park in this initiative.
Donating 10,000 kina towards this program.
The Office of Tourism, Arts and Culture has commended the Nature Park for the initiative and highlighted the importance of such a day.
Going to sensitize us, as Papua New Guineans to other cultures, like those of us in the islands will be different to those of us on the coastline, it's different to the highlands, and so we too are discovering ourselves, and I think this event is going to help us to discover ourselves and things that we probably take for granted, and it adds to our knowledge.
Esther Brelinwani, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill joined more than 1,000 mourners at the funeral of the late Sir Michael Curtin in Townsville, Australia yesterday. Speaking after the service, the Prime Minister paid homage to the Curtin brothers' founder. Mr O'Neill said the people looked up to him as a great business leader. He described him as a man of vision. Mr O'Neill said during his 5 years in government, Curtin Brothers has been an important partner in the country's infrastructure delivery. The Prime Minister highlighted the contributions Sir Michael had made to development and strengthening skills around the country. Sir Michael gave thousands of people jobs and developed their skills and helped millions to have better lives through improved roads, bridges and other infrastructure. We now join James with the weather preview.
Thank you, Antonia. Your weather in brief: Madang, Lorengau, Kavieng and Buka are forecasted to have fine weather conditions, and the rest of the centres will experience rain and showers with possible thunderstorms. You can join me later in the bulletin for all your weather details. Back to you, Antonia.
Thank you, James. Coming up after the break, Hagen Central District opens new health facility and Billum Festival stage to promote and preserve traditional knowledge. Stay with us on NBC National News.